guys, Sleepy Reader here. I'm coming at you with the four new comic books I bought today at my comic book store. I'm just going to give you my thoughts on them very shortly after having read them. I'm gonna order them in order of favorite cover, starting with the least favorite of the four and moving up to the best, imitating a segment that Minutia Minute did. It just seemed to fit because I actually thought all these covers were great. So that alone was pleasurable. The first one is Nite Owl, number 1, Before Watchmen. I didn't get the comedian because I get really turned off whenever I hear something is all about the Kennedys. I feel like I've been hearing about the Kennedys all my life and people worshiping them, and they, I don't know. I just get tired of the whole baby boomer thing. So I just thought, well, I'll wait till the trade for that and see after it's all done what people have said about it, and see whether I really want to get it. Nite Owl, I was probably going to wait for the trade, but I couldn't resist the artwork when I was looking at it in the store. It's I'm always a sucker for artwork. It's drawn by Andy Kubert and inked by his father, the classic Joe Kubert, and I found the artwork very pleasing. It's a little bit retro, a little different than what you see in comic books usually now, with a lot of kind of sketchier ink lines in it, and I really liked that. And the art is quite dense, in that sense, playing an homage to, or reminding one a bit of Dave Gibbons, but it's, they don't imitate the panel layout or much else about what Dave Gibbons did, but it's nice, detailed artwork. And for that, I'm happy to have bought it. Wish it wasn't $3.99. And I would say that it's just, story-wise, it's okay. It, somewhat like Minutemen, it hews very closely to what we already know, and includes some scenes that seem straight out of Watchmen, actually, like that one, and one where all the superheroes get together in a meeting that gets ruined by the comedian. But we do get interesting material around these events, so that it's more interesting than a mere repetition of what we've seen before. So, I would say it was good, not mind-blowing, but respectable. It does seem like maybe where the story's going is this is going to be a buddy movie, or, a buddy story about Nite Owl and Rorschach. And it's a little too cutesy already, which, given that we know Rorschach's pretty much a psychopath, even though an admirable one in some ways, it doesn't quite strike the right note there. It doesn't quite get finessed properly. I know a lot of people seem to hate J. Michael Straczynski's writing, and I haven't read enough of him to judge, and from this I still can't judge. It's not terrible, what I've seen here. We'll have to see where he goes with it all. But it doesn't, if you're being really picky, it doesn't sit exactly right with the Watchmen feel in that sense of the characterization of Rorschach and Nite Owl together. It is a beautiful cover and beautiful artwork. I'll probably keep getting it. I'm on the fence about all of these. I might just, even though I bought the first issue, I might wait for the trade. So we'll see. I keep changing my mind about what I'm going to get all the time. For instance, I wasn't going to get any Superman, but I grabbed this Superman. It's written by Dan Jurgens and art by Jesus Marino, and I thought it was a very good Superman story. Now, granted, I don't have a huge amount of Superman especially present day Superman lore in my head. So, it may still be a betrayal of all that Superman should be, but it seems like a huge improvement over any other New 52 Superman I've seen, except for, the costume. No matter how well it's drawn, it's just a terrible idea, particularly the boots and the belt, actually, now that I think of it. It's just, the whole thing is goofy. But it has a wonderful cover by Ivan Reis, the regular penciler on Aquaman. It'd be great to imagine him doing covers, doing interior art for Superman on a regular basis. It's just, to me, he's a wonderful updating of the Neil Adams style of artwork. And this is a great cover. And this supervillain is nicely ambiguous, not quite a villain, and just the right kind of powers to give Superman a challenge. And woven into the whole story is an interesting subplot which ties directly to the main plot of the reporting of Superman's real identity. Only it's not Clark Kent. They pick someone else to be the real Superman, or who they think is the real Superman, and they broadcast his identity on TV, and that inevitably brings the supervillain to him, and it all is tied in with Morgan Edge and Lois Lane and some other characters in the journalist world. So it all tied together really nicely, and it began in the issue before this. And that's the reason I picked this up, is because I hastily read the issue before this at Barnes and Noble. I was just going to peek at it, and as I started reading, I kept reading it, sitting in one of their cozy chairs. And I didn't buy it, but then I liked it enough that I thought I'd pick up this issue, and this issue exceeded my expectations. So maybe we're finally going to get some good Superman. Although I understand Dan Jurgens will soon be replaced with Scott Lobel, and I don't know how that's going to go. But I think I'm going to pick up any further Dan Jurgens written issues. There's just some great stuff in here. The art is quite good, particularly in the superhero sections, in the costume superhero sections. It's a little weaker when we're dealing with everyday people in more everyday scenes. But I highly enjoyed this. So that's really cool. I often just want a good superhero story, and that's what this was. And it had lots of subtle stuff about, you could tell what Superman was feeling. He never told you directly what he was feeling, but you could see what he was feeling about his secret identity and problems of developing close relationships with people when you're a superhero. So it was excellent. And then on to Justice League Dark. I bought the first issue of the new Greg Lemire run on Justice League Dark and was a bit disappointed with it. But I picked this one up anyway, mostly when I saw this, the House of Mystery. And it must not be the same House of Mystery that we see in Vertigo comics, or I don't think so. It must be the new 52's version of the House of Mystery, but it's pretty cool. And this whole issue, I felt, was way better than Jeff Lemire's first issue. Of course, the first issue was needed to set it up, but it was very little action, but the art was great, and there was just kind of a psychological plot tension throughout that I thought worked really well, and little plot twists, and a lot of wondering who's lying and who's telling the truth. And there's these sequences with Madame Xanadu having visions of the future, but I think her vision of the future may or may not be a lie. So it was all very interesting and has me wanting to read the next issue. So I'm now really on board with Justice League Dark, which is funny because I just saw Minutia Minute decide to get rid of Justice League Dark, even though he liked the previous issue. And I love this Brian Sook cover, if that's how you pronounce his name, Sook. That's a cool last name, but I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Sook. It's late at night. I should be in bed. But this is just a great cover. So this was my second favorite cover, though. My first favorite cover was for Batman Incorporated. This cover's right up there in my mind with the cover last week or 2 weeks ago of Dial H. Dial H2 had an incredible cover too, and those two are now my favorites of the past month or two. A highly symbolic cover. This is Talia al Ghul and Robin, and who's down below there? I'm not even sure who that person in the red mask is. Or some of the other people. They may not all appear in the story. I'm definitely gonna reread this one. It was very dense. I thought it was Grant Morrison at his best. This could have been like an issue 0, really, because it's a really cool backstory to what we already know, and how it all fits into the new DC timeline is very puzzling to me. But in essence, it's Talia al Ghul's story, starting from her childhood up to pretty much the present time of Batman Incorporated. But I usually think that someone's life story told in one issue is kind of a dry kind of experience. But this is just done fantastically well, and just the artwork and the storytelling. And the storytelling through the artwork and the storytelling through the dialogue is, and the beautiful artwork too, is just great. And they utilize so many of the things that make comic books really cool, and they move you through time in such a perfect way. It's incredible that they pulled this off, and so now I feel like I really know Talia al Ghul, or Grant Morrison's version of her now. So I'm really excited to see where this comic's going to go next. So of those 4 comics, the only one that was even a slight disappointment was Before Watchmen. So, that's got me eager to go out on the weekend if I somehow have the free time and buy some more comics. If anyone hasn't seen the video I did about reaching 100 subscribers, just using that as an opportunity to have people ask me questions. So sometime over this coming weekend, I'm going to do a video where I answer all the questions people have posted on that video. So if you haven't seen it yet, go ahead and post some questions for me. I think I've got about 17 really good questions already, so maybe that's enough. But if you have any kind of questions for me, I will happily answer them. And seems like there was one other thing I wanted to comment on. I will end this video with strange silence. Anyway, talk to you guys all soon. Looking forward to everyone's videos. Bye-bye.